Hello Taurus, Elsie here to do a weekly read for you. How are you, friends? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. I do appreciate you. Happy Friday. That's when I'm starting these readings on a Friday. But of course, you know, anytime you find this, today, tomorrow, next year, it could resonate. This isn't the same, that we're not all in the same place in our lives, right? So could resonate with you. Maybe it won't, but I'll do my best to give you all the information that I can see. Taurus, thanks for showing up here. I appreciate you in all the ways that you love me and your loyalty. And thanks so much for your thumbs up. That's how you're growing this tribe exponentially. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you about where to find the extended. And if you're interested in a private read, I'll talk about that as well. Let's find out what we're doing here. Let's do a 9-card draw, Taurus. I feel like my brain wants to look at the 9-card draw. Tell me about Taurus, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs, not just Taurus Sun. We've got the 3 of Pentacles. Oh, Taurus, look at that. 3 Pentacles in the wheel. That tells me that something here is about to change that has to do with your foundation. Or it could be a friend group or your community. I'm just saying it's something to do with Pentacles. So it is your 3D world. It does feel like something is changing about the way you are organizing your money, your time, your efforts, your energy. It feels like you're changing something. But I think that you would say, yeah, of course I am. I've made the decision to do it. But I think that the reason you're about to do it is because you've been listening. I feel like you're going through some sort of major change or are about to go through some sort of major change in your foundation, in your friend group, in your community, in the way you communicate with people. It also could be friendship, right? This could be friends or friends of friends. And it feels like here that you are reorganizing the way you think about friendships here. I feel like this is all in a preparation for living out your destiny here, friend. It feels like it's taken you a long time to get here. And of course, if you got fixed sign energy, whether that's Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Jupiter, it's taken you a long time to get here, right? The wheel is ruled by Jupiterian energy. And look, Jupiter just went direct. So I'm just saying, something here is about to change for the better in terms of all of this. Wow. It's because you've willed it, Taurus. That's what it is. You are so powerful at this time, I'm going to say. The magician in the wheel. It's you who has decided it's time. It's time to go. I'm ready for my destiny. I'm ready. I've created the environment of growth. It feels like somebody here has changed the way they deal with the pentacle world, whether that's a friend group, time, effort, energy, money. Maybe it's your workplace. You have changed something here, Taurus, and you have taken control and created an environment where something is about to go very right for you. Tell me more about Taurus. We've got the Knight of Wands. So you're doing something that's very brave, Taurus. Very brave, and I feel as though you're going to do it in a bit of a fiery way. Isn't this interesting? The 5 of Pentacles is here, and it's below the wheel. Now, the 5 of Pentacles is the heart of the matter, and it doesn't feel like lack, Taurus. It feels like decision-making. It feels like you have decided who you're leaving on the outside and who you're calling in. Because the Wheel of Fortune, everything is changing. And it is your destiny that you make these changes. I feel like you've moved toward this place in your life very slow and sure-footed, not really wanting to make these decisions, but realize the importance of creating your own destiny. You have to take part in the destiny as well. You know, when the universe shows up with your destined energy, something is changing. But I feel like what's changing is you're creating your own reality. However you see it is how it's going to change. But it's your destiny. And I feel like you're going to have to be brave to deal with the 3 of Pentacles. So I feel like you've already built a foundation with friends or at the workplace, or there's something here that needs to be reorganized. The 5 of Pentacles is giving me the energy that once I make the changes, something here or someone, a situation, you might be quitting a job, you might be leaving people behind. Taurus, this is not a decision that you made lightly. I feel like it's taken you a whole lot of time to get to this point. We have the Seven of Cups. And I'm going to say up until the last minute, I feel like you're still going to question it. Because it feels like, am I making the right decision? You're still in this place where you're trying to trust yourself, trust your decisions, trust your money decisions. We've got the Eight of Pentacles here. You know, it can be it's a very particular practical energy, but it also is about becoming a subject matter expert on something, knowing something better than anyone else knows it. And I would argue and say it's probably yourself, that you are really getting to know yourself and how brave you are, that even though you may not have all of the answers, the Seven of Cups can be a little bit of illusion, right? Or it can be overwhelmed emotionally. And it feels like you know that things are about to change because you've willed it. You've decided it's okay. I'm open to whatever comes to me in terms of change, but you also know that you're going to have to distance yourself from people, places, things, situations, maybe leave a job. It feels like you know that you're going to have to make some brave changes that are going to put other people on the outside looking in, or possibly yourself. Like maybe you're just taking yourself out of the equation. I'm not dealing with this anymore. It's too overwhelming. I don't have all the details and you're not willing to give them to me, so now I've been forced to create my own reality. We've got the Sun. I like that. We've got the Queen of Cups in the reverse. You know, the reason, and the Star, the reason I think that you're making this decision, Taurus, is because you've become emotionally depleted. Taurus, I think you've been overgiving to people. You've been overgiving in terms of your emotion, your empathic energy, your psychic energy. It feels like you're always there when somebody needs you. But I feel like this energy tells me it's time for things to change. I've got to decide who I'm keeping in my circle and who is leaving my circle because I'm becoming depleted. When you start to give everybody everything all the time, when I always say the Queen of Cups, without being in the Empress energy, the Queen of Cups is always in danger of being depleted because people just come by with a straw and start sucking up your energy. And, you know, because they know you're kind and compassionate and loving and overgiving, they can usually talk you into something. I feel, Taurus, that you are coming to a realization. You're having some sort of a breakthrough or something's about to be revealed to you. And I feel like making these changes, making these decisions, which I feel are permanent because of the Pentacles, that I feel like you have, what's being revealed to you is that you're a lot braver than you thought you were. I think for some of you, it feels like something is changing in terms of your environment, and that means your friendships. I feel like you are reassessing friendships. You're reassessing, do I really need to stay at this job because I could have a job that I'm much happier at making the same money? It feels like you are trying to put yourself in a situation here of being hopeful. It's hopeful manifestation. I need to heal this overwhelming emotionally overwhelming situation that I don't have clarity on. We're going to put down 2 cards here. We're going to see what's waiting for you under the surface. Things you can't see. Tell me about Taurus. What are the things you can't see? About to speak up, friend. You know, the thing is that the Knight of Swords is the one that's a little bit aggressive. So I'm going to say that it feels like somebody here has just had enough. And it feels as though you are making a very, please understand that I don't think this is somebody who's just going around yelling at people. I feel, Taurus, that this is telling me that you've made a very sound decision based on the data, 8 Pentacles, based on the analytics, based on what you know, and based on the changes you know you must see in your own life in order to have hope, in order to be happy, or have your wish fulfillment. And I feel like you also know that if you don't make any changes, nothing changes. Look, the situation could change. 100% the situation can change. But if you're not willing to change, you don't get the benefits of the change. And that's the hard part. The hard part is the change. So the Knight of Swords is Gemini energy. Gemini energy is just going to say what they want to say, and you can deal with the fallout. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that I don't think that you give me enough clarity for me to be able to trust you. So I'm creating my own reality, and I'm making changes in my life. It feels like somebody here is probably... I'm saying this energy here feels like ghosting energy. Taurus, I feel like you're just stepping back and you're just cutting. You're just cutting people. Feels like you're not giving explanations. I've already said my piece. I keep repeating myself and you're not listening. And so I feel like you're now going to this Knight of Swords energy, where you're aggressively taking the sword of truth and cutting away whatever it is that is not serving you. And that definitely makes you the Queen of Wands. Whether you're the man or the woman, the Queen of Wands, whether you're the feminine or the masculine energy, the Queen of Wands is somebody who is taking a bold step forward in clarity, I would say, because the Knight of Swords is here and is giving a very clear message. Taurus, I feel like you're about to give a very clear message by stepping away. I don't think you're saying anything else anymore. I don't think you're giving anybody the gears. I don't think you have anything more to say on this. I think you've already said it. It sounds to me like somebody's at their limit, where you finally just say, you know what, you're not listening. So when people stop listening, Taurus, it's time to stop talking. And I think that's what this tells me here, that the big bold move you're making in clarity is to just cut out what you don't need. And I feel like you're resilient. Look, and you could say, well, now I'm not going to have any friends because, well, you know, we outgrow our friend groups. And when you decide to change and nobody else will change, you have to create a new reality. You have to find ways to meet new people. Doesn't mean you'll be alone forever. You just need to find ways to meet new people. Let's talk about, I just looked up, it was 11:11. I looked up at the timer. Tell me about the Wheel of Fortune. What do I need to tell Taurus according to the Wheel of Fortune? What is changing here? We've got the King of Cups in the reverse. Very interesting. So look, I feel as though you have been struggling to keep this to yourself. I feel like you are now speaking up. You're no longer keeping it to yourself. The King of Cups is in the reverse. And it feels like this change is making you upset. It's making you sad. I don't think you're really happy about it, but I feel like you know that you could no longer keep the stoic face. When people do you dirty, when they do you wrong, and you're no longer keeping the stoic face and saying, oh, that's all right. I feel like you're just going to say, well, no, you can't do that to me anymore. Got the Eight of Wands. And we've got the Empress here. That's why. See, you've outgrown a group of people. You've outgrown the workplace or the work that you do. You've outgrown some sort of a vibrational level here, Taurus. With the Empress present, that tells me you have wisdom. You have wisdom, and now you've realized that you have been playing small in order to keep yourself in spaces where you actually don't belong. But the reason you've been doing that is because you don't want to leave the group of friends behind. You don't want to leave the community behind. You don't want to be alone. Who does? Nobody does. But I feel like you are going to have to make the brave decision to see something for what it really is with the Sun here. Let's talk about the Knight of Wands, because I feel like you're about to make a really brave move. And the brave move is, I've got to put somebody on the outside looking in, or I have decided that I am no longer going to subject myself to feeling in lack, or allowing people to take my energy and make me feel in lack. Tell me about the Knight of Wands. I've got the Emperor. You are making decisions, friend. I feel like there's somebody in your life who is a person of influence. So somebody who has influenced you, or somebody who has said to you, look, do you know who you are? Because I see your worth. Don't you see your worth? It feels like there is somebody here in your life who is an emperor. They could be a romantic connection. They don't have to be. That's totally up to you and your lens, whatever you're looking at here. But I feel like it's time for you to release some sort of burden. And I feel like it's taking a lot of bravery for you to release some type of burden. Ten of Pentacles is in the reverse. Look, I feel like you've been giving it all away, Taurus, and that's not unlike a Taurus. Tauruses are going to give and give and give and give until which time they don't anymore. And when they are deciding that you've taken enough and you've not given them enough back, when they realize that things are sort of very, very lopsided, that's what you're going to get. Ghosting. That's it. We're going to be quiet. You're not going to know where Taurus went. You're just going to be like, isn't Taurus showing up? Yeah. So the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, it feels like you've decided that this is no longer a situation, a job, a person, a relationship, whatever your lens is today. You've decided I can no longer give to this because it's affecting my ability to move into the future. And I think that you've made a decision that you are in control of your own destiny. You're in control of your reality. And I feel like you've decided that I'm no longer going to ignore it. It's something that I have to pay attention to. I feel like the Sun is here to give clarity to the Seven of Cups, to, Yeah, let's talk about Seven of Cups. I feel like there is something here that was not clear to you, or that makes you overly emotional. And it could be this Five of Pentacles, because I feel like you're feeling a little bit in lack, but you know that you must create your own future. I feel like there are going to be some bold words said, or a bold, brave action that's being done here. We've got the Seven of Wands, got the Judgment card, and we've got the Four of Wands. I feel like, Taurus, you're doing it in order to stabilize your own life. In order to you have to first exclude yourself from the place that you no longer belong in order to change your path. And I think that's what the Judgment card is saying. You've been given more than one opportunity to change your path, but I don't think that you were ready. And look, it has nothing to do with being stubborn. It has to do with being ready. And because you're very analytical, 8 Pentacles, because you're very analytical, you were waiting for more data. You're not going to make a boom decision like that. Maybe you might. Some of you might, because you could have fire in the rising or the moon. But it feels like somebody here is still steady, slow moving, making decisions that are good for my life now, not good for their life. So it does feel like the Judgment card tells me here that you're being given another chance to look over the situation and make sense of it. I feel like with this Seven of Wands energy here, that it's time for you to stand up. And I think that's what this whole reading is, Taurus. It's time for you to stand up and say, no, I'm not giving to that, because I know once you take it from me, you're gone, and I won't see you. You'll ghost me. So I feel like you are putting up boundaries here, Taurus, that you feel as though there are some people that just have not earned the ability to be able to come into the yard, that they got to stay at the property line. I feel like this is a decision that has come around, and I feel like it's now that you're ready to make this change. And I think it's because it's the support of the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune together, understand? I feel like now you feel as powerful as the Magician. You feel like you have all the tools, you have all the skills, you have all the resources. You can pull away from here, and yes, you will be in this energy for a bit of the Five of Pentacles. But I really do feel like this is a big, bold move that you are making by cutting out what is no longer for you. And I feel like that's basically what you're resetting this year, is what it feels like. So there is, I feel like instead of standing there and feeling overwhelmed by feeling that people have used you for whatever their purpose was, because you do have the magic, you do have the resources, right? You're the Empress. You're the person who has the wisdom. You're the person who's even and metered and balanced and kind and giving and compassionate. And I feel like the buck stops here. That's what it sounds like. The buck stops here. Bottom of the deck, we've got the Eight of Swords. Look, this is not a decision that you made easily. I feel like you were in a place in your mind where you were fighting making this decision. But I think when it comes down to it here, you have to, this King of Cups in the reverse is really not in control of their emotions. This is somebody who is finally, the dam has broke, and I'm broken down now. I can no longer hold back the emotions. I've just got to go with it. I think that you know that you have to push forward here. The Eight of Wands is saying you're going to do it with velocity. So I think for some of you, this could be going on right now, but for some of you in the future, you could be saying, no, I'm never cutting out my bestie. I'm never cutting out the people that I hang out with. I'm not leaving my job. But I'm going to say never, friend, because change is here and you can't stop the Wheel of Fortune. So the Eight of Swords is here, and I feel like you are stuck here, but this is what you want. I feel like you're stuck in the Eight of Swords, in a place where you feel like your hands are tied and you can't make a decision. You're overthinking. But I feel like you're blocking your way to the Nine of Cups. I think like this is what you want. Like you're like, okay, fine, I can be alone. I just want to be happy being alone then. If I have to be alone for a time, and this isn't forever, but if I have to be alone for a time in order to know my worth, in order to step into the Empress energy and be sovereign, then I just want to be able to do it without needing external validation, without needing people to make me happy. I want to be able to do it myself. I think you're going to go into this hermit energy here, and you're going to find your way, my friend. The Queen of Swords is here. The Queen of Swords is somebody who's liberating themselves from a situation. And the Queen of Swords is somebody who is not mean and terrible and awful. This is a person who's just negotiating truth. I just need to tell you the truth. This is how I feel about the situation. And I feel like your truth is finally coming forward. I feel like you will find it if you haven't yet. In this hermit energy, when you spend the next hermit time with yourself here, I feel like you're negotiating with yourself. I mean, looking in on yourself, Virgo energy, right? That's about pointing the finger back at me. What's going to make me happy? And I think that what's going to make you happy is to stop having to overthink everything. Taurus, we're going to go into the extended. If you'd like to be there, we're going to talk more about this because there's a revelation coming. We'll talk more about this and what this means, the Three of Pentacles, and what is your magic and what reality are you creating. We'll talk all about that. If you'd like to come to the extended, please look at the pinned comment that is above all of the comments, and you will see that there is a link there that says read more. If you're interested in coming and watching the extended, then please go to the membership area. We'd love to see you there. We're getting bigger by the day. Thank you for those of you who have come to the membership area. And also, if you are interested in a private read, please know that private reads are open. And if you're interested in a pre-recorded read or a live read, you will find that information in the Hypsee link. You can check my packages and you can check the schedule that I have available, and please pre-book your live readings if that's what you would like to do. And yeah, we'll talk about things. I'm going to go into the extended. Thank you so much for being here, Taurus. We'll find out what else is going on, and I will be back because I am always back. You guys have the best week, and I'm out. Take care. Bye-bye.